Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. For today's video I'm going to be going up to Hanging Rock State Park. I'm actually just outside the main entrance right here on Hanging Rock Park Road. What we're going to be doing today is hiking up to the Moore's Knob Lookout Tower, and I'm doing this as part of the North Carolina Lookout Tower Challenge, and I believe this is either 19, I have to check my list, but I believe this is either 19 or 20 for me. So I'm getting down close to the very end. Most of the ones that I have left, or really all the ones that I have left, are the ones that are the furthest away from home. Today's hike is going to be kind of a moderate one. We're looking at doing just under 4 miles total. So I'm going to make my way through the gate and get parked and get my bag ready and then hit the trail. So we'll see you in just a minute. Alright, so I just got parked. This is the main parking area here. Not very many cars here at all, maybe half a dozen, something like that. Probably will see someone on the trail, but will definitely not be a lot of traffic. So I'm going to check my map and see exactly where it starts, because there are different entry points around here. And we'll see you on the trail. So this is the main sign here where the trailhead is. Got several different trails that come off from right here. But what we're going to be doing is the Moore's Wall Loop. I'm probably not going to do the entire loop. I'm probably going to hike to the tower and back, which is just under 4 miles, like I mentioned before, 3.8 to be exact. If you want to do the loop, it is 4.7 miles. And I might possibly check out Torrey's Den and Torrey's Waterfall. I think there's a waterfall with it. If I do decide to do that, I will include that in a separate video. So I'll possibly be on the lookout for that. Looks like there's one other sign up here. I guess if you plan to do rock climbing, you must register. This is pretty much like a CCC information here. Not much that pertains to this hike. And they've got a little map up here. A good size one, actually. And feel free to pause the video at any moment if you need to. Alright, so officially on the trail now. And we are going alongside a lake. Kind of has like a little beach area there with it, which I imagine is probably pretty popular in the summertime. Definitely starting out flat. Nice peaceful stroll, which is definitely going to change, because I believe we do have I'm not exactly sure what the elevation gain is going to be. If you do the 4.7 mile loop, it's around 1,000 feet elevation gain, I believe. But since we're not going to do the entire loop, it's going to be a little less than that. So I would say at least, it's still going to be at least 700-800 feet, I would guess. But I've got my tracking app started, which is not always the most accurate, but that will probably give us some idea once we get up there to what exactly we've done. So it looks like we will have white blazes today to help us keep on trail, but as often as this trail is hiked, I believe this one's going to be fairly easy to follow. And it's a state park too, so I'm sure there'll be signage in places that'll help us out. But I don't think I mentioned before, today's date is April the 1st, 2022. and it is currently about 54 degrees here in the park where I'm at, and we do have a light to moderate breeze, so if you hear wind noise in the video, I do apologize for that, but hopefully it will not be too gusty, but if it is, we'll just have to work with it. But all in all, got clear skies, no chance of rain or anything like that, so I believe it's gonna be a pretty good day. We got a series of little wooden bridges to walk across. They're not really bridges, more so just platforms. I believe it's very wet and damp through here. Maybe this just prevents you from getting too muddy. It appears to go on for a while. This is also my first time in this area ever. Never been in this area. I've also never been to Pilot Mountain, which is just probably within an hour east of here. That we'll have time for that today, but it's definitely on my list for the future. But now it's looking like it's shifted more to a standard trail. So in between the trees we go. I think I hear a person coming up. We got some pretty wide steps here to go up. Coming up on a campsite where someone has set up for camping. I wonder if there's another entrance to the park to where you can get this a little quicker than I just did. Yeah, looks like we're crossing the road up here. Might could have avoided hiking just a little bit to shorten this up some, but I did enjoy the walk alongside the lake, so I think I'm okay with what I did. Continue on Moore's Wall Loop Trail, turn right and follow the red circles on pavement. Observation tower, 1.3 miles. I'm gonna check my map and see if that's what we're gonna do. I kind of already had a route planned, so take a look at that real quick. So just beyond that truck is where I saw that sign in the last clip. So my route does follow going on the road just a short piece at this intersection. Then we go back into the woods on the trail right here, back onto the Moore's Wall Loop. So it looks like we've got 1.2 miles to the tower, and then we'll have that back, and I've already done 0.7 miles, so just under, gonna be just under 4 miles as it stated on the app and what I had read online. Also, the Mountains to Sea Trail connects to this somewhere up there. I wasn't really aware of that before coming here, but that's interesting to know. Starting out flat again right here. So at least for now, we're following red and white blazes, not just white, as I mentioned before. So that has changed. I'm not sure if it'll be that way the whole time or not, but at the moment that's what we're working with. The wind is starting to pick up a little more too the further I go this direction. Little creek crossing here. We're going to be going up a series of steps and over some giant rocks. Not really that familiar with this area, but I do believe that there has been a fire right around here alongside the trail at some point. There's a lot of burnt looking wood and it's just kind of cleared out. If you know any information on that, maybe leave a comment below and talk about it a little bit. It does appear that way though. Quite a few steps here. So far since we left that road earlier, it's been nothing but steps after steps. It's starting to get fairly steep now. About a mile or so in. So maybe halfway there or a little better. It's also the forest is kind of, still not sure if it's a fire or what, but right here it just kind of looks like it's a young forest and not really a burnout, but it could be some of each. A lot of direct sunlight right here too. This will be pretty brutal in the summertime. Moving on. So just come from this direction and made a hard left to make the final run to the tower. I do believe we still have a couple more 100 feet to climb, but just a matter of time now before we make it there. I will say that this hike is rated moderate. However, in my opinion, the steps are teetering on making it at least moderate to difficult, somewhere in between, you know, slightly above moderate. If it was all flat trail, you know, even if it was steep, I would agree totally that it was moderate, but these steps in my feet just don't mesh well together. But you keep on keeping on, power through. Almost there. So this rock formation in the middle of the screen is one of the iconic cliffs of Hanging Rock, which will be one of the reasons why this is called, or the reason why this is called Hanging Rock State Park. It almost has the appearance of a face on the edge. Not sure if you can get out to that or not easily, or if there's a trail to it. I just happened to look off to the right as I was fixing to be almost at the tower and just noticed that you could see this from a distance, so I climbed down just a little bit to get a shot of it. It's also a fantastic viewpoint. The surrounding mountains, towns and farmland below. Pretty peaceful spot. I only heard one person in the distance on the trail, but I have not actually seen anyone else on the trail yet. So pretty good dose of solitude today so far. And we're almost there. Back on the trail now. Next clip should be there. We're just starting to level off slightly. Here it is. Oh, glad to get past all them steps. So there's a couple people enjoying the view at the top. I'm just going to check out the view on this opposite side that I haven't seen yet before I climb up. See, there's another giant rock protruding here. Another hanging rock, so to speak. I believe off in the distance that may be Pilot Mountain. Very, very pretty out here. So before I climb up top and give you a shot of the view, I was going to point out real quick. I'm also going to go over some historical facts and things about the tower as I usually do. But I wanted to point out that these pillars, like this one here and that one there, there's two on the other side, are the bases of what was once a steel tower that was here before this, very, very long time ago. Kind of surprised that those are still there, but nonetheless, they're still here. So we do have 4 placards up here telling you what's what. Try to go over that in just a second. This is a full 360-degree view. I think we are a good distance away from the more common mountains of western North Carolina. We're just so far east of those, but this is a very prominent view. Very good visibility too today. So off to the north we have these mountains, which I'm just not familiar with at all. Primarily Virginia mountains. Straight ahead that way. And off to the east, the town of Greensboro's that way. And then the actual hanging rock is right there in the center of the screen. It has it labeled here. And the visitor center, which looks like a large cabin below it. And then Walnut Cove, Flat Shoals Mountain, and then the lake is actually named Hanging Rock Lake. Then to the south, got High Point, Winston-Salem, the Uwharrie Mountains, House Rock, Cook's Wall, and Charlotte, of course, is off that way somewhere, which I can't really make out exactly where that is. Maybe you could on a clear enough day, I'm not sure. And then of course if you go over here west, you have Mount Mitchell, Pilot Mountain, Sorrowtown Mountain, Grandfather Mountain, Elk Knob, Blue Ridge Parkway, Fisher Peak, all in that direction. Pilot Mountain is probably the easiest one to identify. It's the one that's kind of sticking up. There's one mountain there that has the communication towers on it, which is Sorrowtown Mountain, and then Pilot Mountain just beyond that center screen. Gonna hang out out for a minute and head down, see if I can find a non-windy spot and go over some information about the history of the tower. Just wanted to show the inside real quick. It's very dark in here, but there's absolutely nothing in it now. Alright, so I'm going to go over some historical information about the tower real quick, and if you can't hear me that well, I apologize about the wind. But so Moore's Knob is the tallest peak in the Soratown Mountains. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Sorry if I'm wrong. It's located in Hanging Rock State Park, as we've already discussed, which is in Stokes County. That is just north of Winston-Salem, but east of Pilot Mountain, and very close proximity to a town called Danbury. So in 1949, the first tower was originally built as a 30-foot steel tower, which the foundation, the 4 foundation legs are still there. I showed you that just a minute ago. And after 2 years, for unconfirmed reasons, the steel tower was demolished and removed. I've heard different things online about this, as far as a lightning strike, a storm, and someone even said it was a bad fire as well, which would be kind of ironic. It's a fire tower being burned up in the fire. But anyway, the current tower was built in 1951 and was constructed with 129 tons of stone. The tower itself is 18 feet tall, 18 and a half feet tall to be exact, and it sits at an elevation of 2,580 feet, and it has 27 stairs to the top. It was originally built with a lower room for a living space, and the upper part was an enclosed lookout room with a surrounding catwalk. And many changes since then have happened to bring the tower to how it looks today. The top cab was actually removed in the 80s and converted to an observation deck. And the tower was listed on the National Historic Lookout Register in 2008. And it is my opinion that this tower is currently in what I would say is pretty good condition. You know, I don't know what if everything that would have been in the bottom there would have just been removed. I'm not sure if there's anything supposed to be in there. I wouldn't think there would be, but nothing's in there. And you could look on the sides here from where at one point they had windows there and they just stoned those in, but there's not really any damage. I mean, there are some inscriptions of the initials and people's names, and you know, just the common things you have with humans, but there's not really any physical damage to note on it. So I think it's, in my opinion, it's in pretty good condition. So that being said, I'm going to take a little break and head back down the trail. So this is the Coast Guard survey marker. Just wanted to show that real quick before I head back down. So I'm heading back down the trail now, and I wanted to mention that the GPS logged me at an elevation gain of just about exactly 900 feet. I'll probably give or take 50 feet on that. Probably take away 50 feet is what I would say. Probably realistically around 800 to 850 foot elevation gain. But I'm sticking with the original plan to go back the same route and not do the loop. Planning to try and get one more hike in the area that's back west of here. So I'm just trying to make the best use of my time. Doing it this way will eliminate about 9/10 of a mile, I believe. So if you're looking to do it the shortest way possible, I believe this is it. Alright, so I'm about 3/10 of a mile to the parking area where I parked. So I'm gonna go ahead and give some final thoughts in the video here. All in all, it's a pretty good hike, pretty good day. The stairs definitely made it a workout. Haven't quite recovered from my hike last weekend, which was around 16 miles altogether, so kind of feeling that right foot a little bit right now because of all the steps. I'll go with what I said earlier. I'll rate this one moderate to difficult because of the steps, somewhere in between. If it wasn't for the steps, I would totally agree that it was moderate, but for me today it was just pretty rough on my right foot. And maybe I feel different if I wasn't feeling that, but anyway, I did not see anyone on the trail the whole way up there. There was a couple at the top at the tower whenever I got up there. I spoke to them for a minute. They were very nice, but other than that I did not see anyone the whole way up. And when I was coming back, I probably seen 6 or 7 people hiking up there, so I think I timed it very good. I was able to enjoy the trek up there all to myself. So yeah, that's another one off the list. The towers that I have left are Snowball Mountain Tower, Panther Top, and Rendezvous Mountain. And after that, this challenge will be done. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to work towards next, but I do have a lot of waterfalls and some other destination style hikes that I'll be doing. And it may also be some time before I get the other ones knocked out, as they are all a fair distance from where I live. So stay tuned for those in the future if you're here just to see the Lookout Tower videos. But I do have a plethora of other content on the channel. So with all that being said, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing if you haven't. Those two things will not cost you at all. Just kind of helps keep me going. And as always, thanks for watching.